So, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another Premier League video. Today, we are going to speak about the fallout from the pay-per-view for 3 p.m. kickoffs, which starts next Saturday, a week today. There's 5 games that you can pick from, £14.95 for the game. And yeah, it's caused a lot of drama, I'm going to read out a couple of things, one from Gary Neville, one from somebody else on BBC Today, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Then give me yours in the comment section. Before we do that, don't forget, subscribe if you're new, thumbs up on the video. It's free to do that. Make sure you follow my Insta, LeeGunner82. Also, download HOTMIC. I've got a t-shirt giveaway coming up, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But it will be exclusive to HOTMIC. So make sure you go and download that right now. Use my code. It is in the description. And that is free to download. Also, Flick, there's a t-shirt giveaway on there, a signed and framed Thierry Henry, the legend TT, signed and framed Thierry Henry shirt. Make sure you download that app. Put 2 emotes in the Thierry Henry chat. They're located in the bottom right hand corner. Can't miss it. But we are going to speak about Gary Neville saying it. So he said he actually tweeted this out yesterday, Gary Neville. It is a really bad move by the Premier League to charge £14.95 for single matches that have been shown free for 6 months. Now, he's got a lot of love off of the back of that. A lot of people have agreed with him. And listen, the timing of this is probably bad. The idea in itself, I think, is fantastic. 3 o'clock kickoffs had never been shown in this country before. That was only shown, they were only shown because lockdown, it was to try and give everyone a bit of a boost. You know, obviously, people sitting at home for their own sanity, they would need to get a bit of a boost. And they decided to do that free of charge. Now, this is £14.95. That is the problem where I see a lot of people like that I've seen scouring through social media. It's the price of it per game. But personally, I don't think it's expensive. Real talk. And I'm going to come to that in a minute. But a guy called Kieran Maguire, speaking on BBC Radio 5 Live, the price of football author, he is, described the Premier League's pricing scheme as a public relations disaster, adding it discriminates against the clubs that don't tend to be on Sky Sports or BT Sport often. Spectators have been unable to attend the Premier League games since the league was halted in March because of the coronavirus pandemic. When the 1920 top flight season resumed in June, the remaining 92 games were shown live via Premier League's broadcast partners, and that has been the case so far this year. Some fans have criticised the planned price. Similar scheme for the English Football League clubs costs £10 per game. Others are already paying subscription fees to BT Sport and Sky Sports, and season ticket holders at some clubs paying for tickets despite not being allowed to go. The Premier League's argument, which is EFL clubs are charging £10, so we should be charging more. We have more cameras, is also flawed, said Maguire. He said the cameras were already going to be there. The matches would be shown on Match of the Day anyway. So the setup costs would be minimal, which is a very valid point. The cameras are at every game regardless. So the setup cost is minimal. Top flight clubs voted 19-1 in favour of the pay-per-view scheme on Friday, with Leicester being the only club who voted against it. Fair play to Leicester. But Maguire said it goes against the grain of government advice. Families and friends are going to gather together, which completely goes against what we are trying to achieve by discouraging people from going to other people's houses. Well, that's not actually true, because you're allowed to meet in groups of 6. Other than groups of 6, you can't. So as long as you've only got 5 friends round, you're all right. It's when you start getting 7, 8, 9, 10 round. He then continues on and says, if we're going to, if they got the pricing right, it might have been fine, but nobody actually knows what's happening with the money. Is it going into a central pot? Another great question. Is it being used to bail out lower league clubs? Again, a great idea. Or is it going to be kept by the individual clubs who are paying their who are playing these particular matches? It all seems a little bit ill thought through. Then we continue on. The Premier League has said it and its clubs remain committed to a safe return to fans soon as it's possible. The Premier League and the UK government had hoped to bring supporters back on the 1st of October. Obviously, that didn't happen. Gary Neville said it was a really bad move about this 14.95. I'm going to give you some thoughts on some of the others. Chris Sutton said it's a terrible look. We're in the midst of a pandemic. People are losing their jobs. And we have seen the money from the Premier League clubs that the Premier League clubs have spent this transfer window. The money they've spent on agents, it doesn't sit right with the football supporters, he added. Leicester will come out of it well, but it is baffling to the football supporter that they are being charged extra in these times. The Premier League has got it badly wrong. I'm going to read some of these comments that they've put on the BBC website from general public, basically. One comment said it will encourage people to watch illegally. That's also very true. But that was what people were doing anyway, because they weren't on 3 o'clock kickoffs in this country anyway, ever, until lockdown. So people were doing that anyway. So it's not going to encourage people to do it. It just means they'll continue to do it. Squeeze in every last penny out of the punter. Think I'll stick to the radio, says another one. Well, listen, you have a choice to pay it. You don't have to pay it, do you? And like I said, 3 o'clock kickoffs have never been shown in England. So me personally, I don't get what all the fuss is about. You have a choice. You either decide to pay it or you don't pay it. Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. Another one said the Premier League clubs should organise their own coverage and stream it to their own fans for a decent price. That's a good idea. To be fair, the traditional Saturday 3 p.m.s were never watchable, as it was always annoying when your team was playing, especially back in the day of only seeing the score via a video printer online. And so if you want to watch your team, it's a great idea. If it was a fiver. Well, there you go. Another one said, perhaps a good thing I'm a Sunderland fan, maybe more pay-per-view Premier League games will be free airtime on BT Sport and Sky Sports for League One and League Two clubs who haven't got the money for TV coverage. This is great. Well, there you go. And we'll do one more. Sky Sports would normally have 128 games this season, BT Sport 52. So you're not losing out. You're just getting that bonus additional games that we've got used to seeing since football came back. Well said. Well said. One more comment. Trying to figure out what the complaints are on pricing. You would pay double minimum to go to the same match live, and that is without travel. And that is exactly my point. You know, you would, if you want to go to the game, you're going to spend travel. Even if you live in London, you still got to get on a tube. You've got to get on a bus, maybe. You're still going to do food. You're still going to do drink. You're still going to pay for your ticket for the game. And listen, if it's Arsenal, it ain't cheap. Even if you're playing West Brom, that's still 35 quid. You know, if you're playing Man City, for example, and it's at the Emirates, you're talking upwards of 65 quid. So all in all, it's going to cost you well over 100 quid to go and watch a 3 o'clock kickoff at the Emirates. Although Arsenal Man City probably wouldn't be a 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. But the point is, depending on what team it is, say Everton, for example, Everton will be around 45 quid, 50 quid upwards, maybe. If you're sitting in the upper tier, you're talking 70, 80, 90 quid. So you're still going to do well over 100 quid. These games were never on TV anyway. They've just gone, boom, you can have them on TV. Let's boost the morale of the country. Let's give you that. But now what we're going to do is say, look, we're going to charge for that. I personally think it's a great idea. I genuinely do. I genuinely do. And when people are sitting there saying it'll push people to illegal streams, well, that's complete nonsense, because people were watching them on illegal streams anyway because they couldn't watch them before. Now you've got a choice. Do you want to do it illegally, or do you want to pay the 15 quid for the game? Me personally, I think they should do a season ticket on BT Sport and on Sky Sports for your team, yeah, and charge an annual fee for that. I don't know. Obviously, Arsenal will be on Sky Sports more than BT Sport, although saying that, Europa League games. But then what you've got to take into account is the ones that were going to be on TV anyway. So I suppose it'd be hard to stick a price on that at the beginning of the season, but they could charge it per game maybe. So a Europa League game, if it wasn't on TV, well, it would be, but talking hypothetically, if it wasn't on TV, they could charge $4.99 for that. So listen, people can sit and moan about it all they like. If you haven't got Sky Sports, you buy Now TV. It's going to cost you a day pass, which is what, 8 quid, 9 quid, 10 quid. So you're already paying 8, 9, 10 quid for one game that is on Sky, but you don't have Sky. Now you're being charged 15 quid for a game that was never going to be on TV anyway. So I don't get what the fuss is about, if I'm honest. I genuinely don't. And I think it's a good thing, really do. But I'd love to know your thoughts. I know a lot of people are not happy about the price. Like I said, it's a lot cheaper than going to games. People will always say, yeah, but you get to meet up with your friends. It's about having a beer with your mates and stuff like that. I get that. Get your mates around your house. Pay the 15 quid between 5 of you. It's 3 quid each. Yeah, come on. More money for beer and pizza. But there we go. Anyway, all have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. I will be back again later about 6 o'clock. So make sure you come and check that out. Lee Gunner 82 on Insta. Download HOTMIC and Flick. I'm out of here. Latest, peeps.